Well, hey, McFly subscribers. Tying, again, one of these sessions. I'm trying a different angle. You guys are facing me now, which means I gotta adjust the lighting a little different, so it's a little harder for me to see, but this is what I'm gonna be tying. I just tied one of them. I'm actually selling these. And the reason why, I don't have I'm not filming the same way I usually do, really tight, really close, for you to see everything, is because I am tying to sell these, and I want to make sure that they're right. Problem is, when the camera's super close, I end up getting like really close to it, and it's just really tough to tie. Most of my flies don't turn out perfect when I'm tying on film, so I get this a little further back. Okay, so this is more of what I call a tying session versus a how to tie video, but this is what I'm tying. It's a golden stonefly, and it's like the biot type with the more flat, wide body type of abdomen area. But this is a fly. It's a really cool fly, but it's got the biots up front and in the back. So I went through and actually tying 3 different sizes of these for this guy. You can see I went through all these and see if you can see that. Yeah, I added the bead and the biots to the front, which is pretty easy. Now, excuse my kids, they are here. They might be in the background. You might hear some noise. Sorry for the interruption, but basically, you tie on the biot like you do on the back, right over the eye, but don't go too close; it'll spread those too much, and then whip finish that down. I add a little bit of super glue and push a bead right up onto it. This is a tungsten bead, but I push it right up onto it, and it just kind of makes it set about perfect. You can start your thread. Okay. Bring your thread back to the base. Leave, about as even as you can get it. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I wait to about right there. That's about where I'm at when I start tying the back tail. See, I want it to kind of angle down a little bit, but then get that tail to pop up. So got a little bit of light colored hairline dubbing, or hare's ear dubbing. Basically, it's just rabbit fur. This one does have a few guard hairs in it, but for this back part, you can just grab some pieces that are a little bit less guard hairs. You don't need the guard hairs in this part. And then we got 2 different types of biots for this fly. So this is a goose biot. So you want to position these so there's a bit of flare to these. They kind of flare outward a little bit. So you want these to be not cooperating with me. See how they flare outward? So you want them to be like that, and then transfer the other hand. Once you measure that, put that over top. See how that splits it. I've never been the best at tying any of these biots. Other people have better techniques, I think. I'm probably my least skill set. Alright, so tie up a little bit, pull tight with the thread, and you can just break those off. My daughter's calling me. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. That's kind of the reason why I'm doing these videos too, is it's really tough to get anything done. We're all having trouble with Corona, I know. But it's been really tough on my family. My wife works a lot. I'm, at home with the kids. I'm not used to it. I'm not good at it. I don't think many guys are. Hate to say it, but it's just not our skill set, raising kids, but I'm doing what I can, right? So it is what it is. But kind of makes it difficult to run my business here. So anyway, so we're gonna, you know what, I'll do it on the other side. Try to do it on the other side for you to see. Ooh, that's gonna be tough. So you wanna run right along the side. I've got lead wire. You wanna kind of follow this as it goes down. And then you can just pull tight and break it off. So that's widening up the, bring it back. I'm going to add some weight with this and widen the nymph here. So then come to the same amount here, break that off, and now you've got kind of a wider nymph. Pretty well centered. All right. So clean that up. This is a flat thread, so I'm spinning it. I can make a nice more even base to this. Now we're going to take a turkey biot, turkey wing biot. So these a little bit longer, you can see. And the tips are pretty fragile. So we're just going to clip off the tip, and then when you're tying in, you can see there's like there's a ridge at the top, and then there's like a clear section at the bottom. It's hard to see probably on video, but if you get close you can see it. You want to tie with that ridge on top. Just capture the tip of it like that. Okay. We're going to build a little bit of a, spin that thread again. Put a little bit more of a taper on this. And then you want some these types of tweezers. This is fragile, so I like running a little bead of super glue just to make sure everything stays. Cap where you grab it, and then now you can have, oh, that didn't really quite turn out how exactly I wanted. I love you too, bud. What's up?
What's this? Tomorrow, can we go outside tomorrow?
You can go outside today.
Tomorrow, because...
You don't want to today? Careful with your... Hey, bud. I'm filming. Alright, so once that's tied in real tight, you can break that off, as you can see. Alright, and there we go. There's that biot body. My love.
Hi.
Buddy. Then I come through with a Sharpie. I just put... So I'm used to putting my hand there, but you guys are... right there, so you won't see it. Anyway, I put dots throughout. It doesn't have to be perfect, because if you've ever seen these stoneflies, they don't have perfect, like, it's kind of random dots. It's more like a mottled look. So, and yeah, my fingers are just going to be in the way, guys. There we go. So next, you can use turkey. Actually, a lot of people use turkey instead, but I like this. This is pheasant dyed brown. You want quite a bit of it. You want to kind of align the tips, doesn't have to be perfect. Trim off the really fine tips. Alright, so stroke this to make sure that, oh, I'm not liking how that got tied in. So you want this to lay pretty flat. Hold on, sweetie. Bring it back, and you can see where we're at. I mean, there's not a whole lot of body to this. It's mostly abdomen. You really almost half-half with these. Okay, and once that's in, you just build up a dubbing abdomen with that same dubbing. This one, you don't have to worry about dubbing it in super tight. In fact, we're going to want it not super tight. And you want some of those guard hairs. Fairly thick too. You can see how much dubbing I've got on there. This is not, they're not small little mayflies, you know. Maybe slightly a little more. Alright, we're potty training my daughter, so hold on. Alright, sorry about that, guys. We're potty training our daughter and she called out she had to go potty, so anyway, I'm back. Where was I? Alright, so next, I'm using this little mini hen saddle. Has some good, like, mottled feathers. You take it, strip off like that. You pull them back, you're left with that. You want to, yeah, I'm measuring the width. That's a little long. It's about perfect. You cut that. I'm doing it this way. Usually I just stick it in my hand and cut the tip off, but that way you can see what it is. So what we're left with is like a little triangle. You set that on top. And try to make it even. And you can pull this a little bit to bring it back. Okay, you got your book?
Uh-huh.
Good. Alright, so you can see this is long. Once you do one loose turn, you can pull this, bring it shorter. Now, there we go, that's about right. You make a tight turn, a couple tight turns there in front and in back. You can that off. Make a couple more. Just really lock everything in place and whip finish. And then when you bring your whip finish, when you tighten the whip finish, see how I tightened it all the way to the top? It's because we're going to epoxy the top. Well, resin the top, I guess. Not really epoxy, but... You want to flatten this, make sure everything's angled correctly and how you want it. There we go. And so I do two things here. Solar thin hard. And I pop that so it allows it to soak in a little better. It's a little thinner. So it really kind of holds those thread wraps and everything. And then I use the thick hard formula. I'm sorry, I said thin, the ultra thin. The bone dry is what that was. This is the thicker, thick hard stuff. So yeah. And by the way, for the hook, I am using a Firehole Sticks hook. Forgot the number of it. But for the bead, I've actually got a resin bead, and I really like their beads. I love their hooks too. Shoot. You want to try to avoid that. I'm going to have to scrap this one, I think. Maybe, we'll see. If you mess up, like I did, you can try to adjust it using a bodkin. So just hold it upside down, let it kind of turn more, smooth out a little bit, and then pop it with your light. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened there, but it looks okay, but I might have to scrap this one. This will be one of my own. So what I fish with is usually the mess ups. I like to sell perfect flies, so I'll be scratching this one. Then I put one last coat of resin, the ultra thin stuff, the bone dry, on it, and just gives it a nicer, glossier look. And there we go, that's it. Unfortunately, it bled into the legs there. I mean, it still looks good, it's not bad, but it's not what I had wanted. So this will be one of my own. And that's good. You guys will be able to see me, let's see, that was a size 12, I think, that one. So here, I'll have to put on a bead on this one and the biot eyes. So it's the 718, the Firehole 718 is what that is. Sorry, I gotta find the beads again. And then Risen's beads. They're great and good money. I mean, they're as good as Firehole Sticks beads. Tungsten, and they're super, I mean, they're like really good priced. Shoot. Do got to put the bead on first before I start the thread. That was silly, but I can do it. Yeah, you want to add a bead. Put the bead back. I like angling this up just a little bit. Okay, it's not going to move. We'll try to keep that smooth. Alright, let's put these beads back. I do these ones individually, one at a time here on this side, not like the back where I put them on both ends at the same time. So tie one in, and kind of want it 4 or 5 turns, but you see how it's a little bit up, sliding up on top of the hook point there. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but I find that it just sits best. Now see, I'm aligning that. See where I've got this tied in? The thread is gonna, here, I'll show you. The thread is gonna start sending that to the other side, so it's gonna, yep. And then we're gonna just tie really tight, lock that in place, but you can see how that kind of sends it upward a little bit, but they're almost in a way covering. If you pulled them down, you'd see that they would be covering the hook eye, but they're not, so it allows you to still get your tip it in there. Alright, and then tie the tag ends down after you cut them off. Do a whip finish. Check to make sure the bead, it does. In fact, I like a little bit more, so I tied that a little too thin. You don't want it too tight or the bead won't go up, but onto it. So need a little more thickness just to make sure that bead stays. There we go. So the bead's actually touching thread at that point. It's not just loose. And then dot of super glue. Push that up on. Make sure those horns are positioned where you want them. There we go. So now I'm just going to tie, guys. You don't need to hear me talk anymore.
What are you doing, Daddy?
Working.
Working?
What are you doing?
I'm washing you. Right. Oh, you're sorry.
Hmm?
Trash.
Trash?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for the trash.
You pocket. Yeah.
Technically, I like to build a bit of a taper before I add the lead. Sorry, last time I messed up, guys. What is wrong with the device today? What? Oh, I don't think you should play with that, sweetie. Can you hand that to me?
No.
Excuse me?
What? So,
Abby. Hey, Eli, can you grab that from your sister? And see, you can just break that off. These are fragile, rather fragile, especially if you put a lot of tension on the thread. See, I use Vivas thread, and that, I mean, it's impossible to break. Really strong and pretty thin, so it just kind of cuts right through it. Okay. You're all done? See what I mean, guys? You just want this really loose. You kind of want the guard hairs in there, and you want it to look messy, and it's supposed to kind of look like legs in a way. There we go. Sometimes you gotta fan this out a little more. You want that wing case top part to be pretty thick, and sometimes they wanna kind of bunch up together. If that doesn't work by fanning out, you can always just brush it with your finger a little bit, try to get it to piece out a little bit. Alright. If you notice, I only did a 4-turn whip finish. 4 or 5 is all you need. We're epoxying the whole top, so I mean it pretty much is gonna be together. You'd probably get away with just a 1 or 2-turn whip finish. It's good? Ghost? You drew a ghost? Why are you drawing ghosts? Isn't that scary?
Yeah. Sure.
You found it?
Uh-huh. Hey, see.
Hey, can we not shake the whole house with the door, slamming the door open and closed?
Okay.
Thank you. That one's a little better. And there we go, guys. You can see these take a while. I mean, they're not quick little ties, but really nice flies, I think. Now, I'm not going to spare you with all 5 of them, guys. Last time I did that, I tied all 5. I got, what, 3 more now to tie. And, yeah, I'm not going to do that to you guys. So, that's that. I'm going to get on tying these other ones. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, go check out Risen. They sell great hooks, too. Just, they don't have this style in barbless. And so, you know, I use what, basically, if someone wants barbless, and it's, you know, I need this style hook, the long curved shank hook. And they didn't have it. So, but they've got some really nice barbless hooks. I really like their barbless hooks, and their beads. Their beads are great. I mean, for the money, it's hard to beat. I think you get 25, and they're. Don't quote me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not remembering the price, but it's one of the best priced beads out there. There are some other brands that make some beads that might be a little less expensive, but those ones you always get like barbs on them, or sometimes the eyes are too thin or too big or whatever, and they're all different sizes, and they're not right. So these are perfect. They're good beads, yet they're not super expensive. So they're in the price range of those super cheap, crappy beads that I refuse to tie on. And they're good quality. I mean, you know, really good quality. That one's bigger, of course. This is a bigger fly. I'm tying this in 10 and 12. So there's the 10, this one. This one's the 12, but yeah. So this is a little larger bead, but really good quality. There's really no problems with them, no issues. In fact, I mean, most of them come out, all of them. I've never really had any issue with any of them. They have all that I've used come out looking good. They have slotted beads. They have, oof, I really like these. It just came out with these. They're black, but they're matte black. It's pretty cool. Those are slotted tungsten. But yeah, all these are tungsten. So tungsten are expensive, if you guys haven't noticed. They're really expensive. So it's nice to save some money somewhere, especially when they're good quality. I like them, so that's what I use. I don't notice any difference from some of the brands that are twice the money. They're actually that good, so go check them out. Plus, you get a discount, McFly Angler discount. Okay, so they gave everyone 15% off that is a subscriber of mine. So if you're a subscriber of the channel, you get 15% off. Just type in McFly at discount, right, at checkout, and you'll get your discount. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Now you go catch some fish.